Good evening. I am happy to be with all of you again this evening. Thank you so much for joining me and the team as we do this again, Whitebox. Thank you so much. Please remember to go to whitebox.go.ke as I wait my panelists, Vicent, Awino, and Hellen Kaibu. Tafadhali karibuni. It would be nice to have you on board. But without further ado, kawaida, guys, let me see if you're there. Reactions, tafadhali. I usually like your reactions because you guys come up with quite a number. Tafadhali, let me see if you guys are there. Reactions, tafadhali. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Sasa, at least I know I'm not alone. Josi vizuri kujongelesha. People might think I'm mad. But I'm happy all of you are here, so thank you so much. Without further ado, we proceed and begin our session today. Vicent and Hellen, are you there? It would be nice to see you.
Yeah, Wahiga, I'm here.
Karibuni sana.
Thank you.
Hellen, you can switch on your video, tafadhali.
You've disabled me. Enable me. Hello?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Sorry. No,
yeah,
no, you're actually
disabled me. Enable me.
Oh, yes. You're right. You're right. Okay. You're back right now?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Good. Usipotee tena. If you guys are in, that's good for me. So, without further ado, kawaida, you know, whitebox.go.ke, putting it on the chart. Let me do it for all of you, just in case you know or don't know. Whitebox.go.ke, where government supports and nurtures your idea, innovation, product, or solution. Asanteni sana for being with me this evening, the 3rd of October, 2022. Tunaendelea kawaida. Nairobi is raining heavily. Yes, that's true, Moha. So how does Whitebox work? All you need to do is just register, then proceed for evaluation. They'll evaluate your business and your innovation, then development and growth for viable innovations, which will be considered for further support to be developed into a product or service. And last but not least, stage 4 is work with Huduma Whitebox team and partners. That's to help you scale and transform. What services do you expect there? And some of the questions I also saw even as we were within Whitebox, within the Whitebox WhatsApp group, is that you'll get access to facilities, technical assistance, financial support, access to market, linkage to investors, and incubation and acceleration. So karibuni sana, good evening to you all. I've put the link there. Hellen and Vicent, feel free to put your link or how guys can contact you within the chat box. Guys, please remember, as usual, when it comes to Whitebox, let me actually clarify that. When it comes to whitebox.go.ke or the Whitebox platform, please make sure that your product or service has technology backing it up. It will be highly important for you to be able to have that, because it's also part of the consideration and what allows your business to scale. Let me see, I've not forgotten anything. House rules, kawaida, please do not put your question and answers within the chat box. Put it within the Q&A panel, because that's how best and easiest I can go through it. If you need to talk about your business, if you need to talk about random information, if you need to talk to people, put it within the chat box. Yeah, so without further ado, I would like to welcome Vicent and Hellen. I can quickly talk about Vicent also because I've worked with him. So Vicent is an experienced technical manager with a demonstrated history of working in the information technology and service industry, skilled in geographic information systems, GIS, database, Java application, development on Android and analytical skills, strong information technology professional with a Bachelor of Science in Geospatial Engineering and Space Technology from the University of Nairobi. For Hellen, Hellen actually works within the fashion industry, doing textiles and industry, and has been there for the last. Hellen, how long have you been doing your business, by the way?
Since 2017.
It's 2017, and I can tell you quickly, she's been very successful and a proud owner of a very great institution. So without further ado, I would like to welcome both of you. I don't know who will start, but please tell us something about yourself that people don't know.
Okay, so I think I'll go first. I hope I'm audible enough. Unfortunately, I had to travel up country, and I'm hoping the video is good enough and the audio is audible. You can hear me properly.
Yes,
just
for
in
both
case
of
I'm
you,
not audible enough,
good.
just let me know in the chat box.
So
my name is Vicent Awino, just as Waiga has mentioned. I'm CTO at UPESY World Limited. So I've been into technological driven applications for quite some time right now. I think I've been doing this from 2012. Majorly, I deal in the space of geographic information systems, so where applications are based on geolocation data and generating meaningful information and analytics from that. So that's my background. I run two companies. I run UPESY World Limited. At the same time, I also run Gravity Limited. Both are tech companies, and we are into the space of geospatial engineering. So I think as we continue this conversation, I think more is going to come out, and hopefully we have a good discussion in the next, I think, 1 or 2 hours. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, my name is Hellen. I run a company called Hellenic Designs and Fashion. I started in 2017 as a very small business, and currently it's quite a big business. Ventured in uniforms mostly. I do school fleece jackets, overall tracksuits, dust coats, raincoats, African hoods and snoods, Maasai shukas, all those. What I can tell you about my business, in textile, it's a good business. If anyone watching in the group, you want to know more about, you can contact me. I'm also on Google as Hellenic Uniforms, and I'm on Facebook. Karibuni sana.
Asante sana, asanteni sana. So I think without further ado, I'll get into the conversation that we are expecting from both of you today. I think nianze tu na kawaida. How has business been for you since COVID-19?
That's me.
Any of you, you can decide who goes first.
Okay. Since COVID, it was not good. Like for example, for my case, because most of my my core business is uniform. So since there were no schools, I had no business. Actually, I was like paralyzed. But because I was doing wounds, it wasn't that bad. We could feed on that, and as an entrepreneur, you know, we never say die.
Good, Vincent.
Sorry, Waiga, when you asked the question, I think I lost you somewhere a bit. I don't know if you could just kindly repeat.
Oh, yes. I was just asking, how has business been for you for the last, maybe since COVID-19? All
right, I think COVID was a hit for a lot of businesses around. Now, partly we were a bit lucky because UPESY dwells in areas to do with emergency response services. So when COVID came, people were a bit paranoid about their safety. People didn't know what kind of disease that was in the onset. So UPESY, being a platform that connects people to emergency response services, came at a time when we, with COVID, people were able to enroll more into the platform as a result. Of course, later on, people learned to live with the virus, and I think it leveled out a bit. So I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, we did a 7 as compared to a previous year, but that was just I think a lucky hack for us during the COVID period. Since then, things have leveled up, and we are starting to get more of an organic user base as opposed to just people who come on the platform based on the news of the day.
Great. So maybe to ask you quickly, both of you, how exactly have you hacked surviving during COVID? Like, how have each of you actually hacked surviving during COVID? Before I even get deeper into your type of businesses.
Now, we had to cut down costs. First of all, we had to relocate back to our homes for the entire, I think like for almost a year. We were lucky that we are a tech-based company, so a lot of collaboration was handled online. Anything that was not crucial to the business at that time, I think, was halted for quite some time. So bottom line is we had to cut a lot of costs in order to survive during the period. But again, like I said earlier, we were lucky because of the kind of platform that we were running that we managed to generate more user base as compared to the previous year. So whereas we were cutting costs, we managed to generate some revenue during the period. So that way we managed to survive, cut costs, generate more revenue. Lucky enough, we had a platform to go with it for the period.
For my
Hellen.
case, yeah, for my case, I decided to close the workshop and brought the machines back to my house and operated there until the business was back to normal. So that means I also did I cut costs and decided to cut costs. And then I stopped doing the uniforms and ventured in African wounds and snowns because the uniforms were not going. So I completely decided not to do uniform during the COVID.
Okay, so what did you opt for once you stopped doing uniform?
The Masai shukas, wounds, and the fashion jackets. I've
Great.
shown some of them on with you. Maybe
okay.
You can, yeah.
Yes, I can share with the team on the WhatsApp group. So just aligning to that, because today's session is about successfully launching a product into the market. What are your experiences launching new products into the market?
It's not easy, but with the persistence, it's not difficult. If you have the will, there's nothing you cannot do. That's what I believe in as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur's mind is different from other people. As an entrepreneur, you venture in something, maybe you bring your product to the market without knowing who will be your customer. But because you are positive, at the end of the day, you end up selling. So that's my mindset.
Yeah, for me, on the tech space, launching a product, what I learned is launching a new product requires you to really get your niche market right. And that means even before building the product, it means figuring out how to find a viability of the product within the market niche that you're targeting. And that means finding out if people will be willing to use your product or service in exchange for money. So once that test is overcome, then you develop the product and go for the niche market. And then as you go for that niche market, you learn from how people are using that product in order to improve that product. And as you improve that product based on the usage with the niche market, then you are able to scale the product based on the same experiment that you've conducted with that first cohort of early users. So that's what I've learned. It is a very carefully calculated experiment in terms of finding what people want and what people would actually be willing to pay for before you can go full throttle and scale the product to the market you're envisioning.
Interesting, interesting. So Vicent, for you, most of your work is online and just IoT, right?
Yeah.
And then for you, Hellen, kawaida yako ni vitu kwa ground.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
And I
so
believe once you take the right thing to the customer cannot resist, as long as you do a quality work. That's all.
So I think I want to know from both your experiences how it works. Because Vicent, what do you look specifically when you're looking at the niche? Because you've mentioned niche. How do you work with people online? And how do you define your client online? How do you get your customer right online? Because that haujawa test, or is there a way to test that? And same for you, Hellen. How do you do that to your ground? How do you go to the right places? How do you choose the right people? How do you understand these are the people I need to go to na vitu ka hizo?
For my case.
All right. Yeah. Go on.
You may continue, Hellen.
Okay, for my case, I believe once I make I stitch my fleece jackets right and give the customers the right price, I am going to go, because in my business, there is no new customer. All the customers that I visit, still, I normally find them with other suppliers. But what makes me win, it is how I make my fleeces. If you make a quality thing, be assured of getting the job. And that is what has been making me hit the market and do well in the market. Like as at now, most of the schools, my production nowadays has gone so high that I can do 500, 800. And it is because of the quality of work I do. That's all I believe in, quality.
Yeah, so I think she's very right. There has to be quality in the product. So in my space, I'm in the space of, like you mentioned earlier, online product. So let me give an example with mobile apps. So there are millions of mobile apps out there. The common user at any one point will only use at most 6 to 8 apps on their phone, meaning you're competing for that space of 6 mobile apps. Now, if you were to take a new mobile app into the market, even before building the product, what I was talking on earlier is an experiment that you conduct with your envisioned user base. And that experiment is can be conducted even before building the product. So there's a way you can find out from your clique of friends, could be the person that you figured out to be your ideal customer. And there's a way you can experiment and figure out if those people would pay or use the product that you intend to build. Now, if the answer is yes, then once you build the product, then you start with a very core product. Normally we call it a minimum viable product. So just having the core functionality that you intend your users to use, and you push it to the first cohort of people that you envision to be your customers. Then based on how they use that product, you collect data and figure out what is useful on that product and what is waste. Waste is anything that your ideal customers do not find useful. Then you double down on what they find useful and how you can monetize that. And once you figure that out, then it's time to scale. So that's what I've learned in bringing, in my area, those products to the market. And as Hellen puts it, definitely, even with the minimum viable product, it has to be a quality product because it's a very competitive market. And people have very little limited attention span for what does not work and what does not meet their instantaneous need at that moment. So I think that's what I've learned so far in bringing new products to the market.
Ah, brilliant. Hellen, how do you choose the products that you need to put down in the market, and how do you choose your customer? How do you test, especially when it comes to fashion? Unajua fashion tu ni feeling. So how exactly do you make people want what you have, apart from it looking good? How do you choose that? How do you choose the right customer? And then kuna kitu inaitwa pricing, but that one will come later. Nijibu tu hiyo ya kwanza.
Okay, actually, in the line of my business, I've not had difficulties in putting a product in the market because whatever I stitch, as long as it is neat, I've always found a customer for it. So mine, I think it's very different from other businesses. I think it just is a straightforward business, I can say that. What customers look for in my area, it is quality. If the hood or fleece jacket, it's well stitched, that's all. And the color, and then also the fabric that you use, if it's quality. Mine, simply, it is quality.
Ah, interesting. So when you are thinking about 4Ps, we still stick on that product. Vicent, how do you work on that? How do you do that for yourself?
Come again, sorry?
When you're thinking about the 4Ps and your product, how do you choose a product that you need to take into the market?
Okay, I don't think I got the first statement. When you're choosing about?
Just when you're choosing a product that goes into the market, how do you choose that?
Okay, that's a very tricky one. So you see, as an entrepreneur, again, I'll talk from the space I am in. There's an idea or a vision that you have for a product, and that idea could be that you want to, for example, build an app that say that helps people budget properly, keep their expenses and help people save and things like that. So there's that idea that you have from the onset, and there's a market that you envision with that product that I want to target the upper middle class, for example, because they struggle with budgeting and they struggle with expenses and finding, good areas to invest in. So your idea could be that you want to build an app that, for example, uses AI to help people save and to help people invest properly and budget. So with that in mind, so if you run a test, and this test could be with a targeted niche market, say on social media, for example, and ask people if they would be willing to use such a product. And if the answer is yes, and if they would be willing to subscribe, say at a fee, for example, and the answer is yes, then it's time to build a minimum viable product. So the minimum viable product will just contain the core features: budgeting, expense, investment. That's the app. You put it out there, and and see the usage. If people download it, keep it in their phones for at least 2 weeks without removing it, and people pay for it at least 10%, then it's time to start tweaking the product to find what people find useful and to remove what people do not find useful. So my 4 ifs, if I got your question right, is if people find it valuable, if people are willing to use it, if people are willing to pay for it, then that's how you identify a good product for which to put to the market.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Hellen, do you have anything to add on that? All right, continue. You looked like you had something.
Not really, but okay. The 4 P's. To me, the pricing is important. The product, place, like the place in my business, it's just the schools in most cases. It's schools. Then the pricing, I deal with the wholesale. So my prices are very competitive and it works well for me.
Good, you even moved to the next part, pricing. I would like to know why, Vicent, you chose to go online completely, and for you, Hellen, why you've decided to do on the ground. Kwa nini hukuchoose kudu online, kuweka kwa duka, masoko, or something like that, any commerce shop? Why you chose the place to put your product or service? Anybody can go on that one. And then, guys, please remember to put your questions in the Q&A panel. So that I can ask them. If anybody wants to ask a question directly, you can also lift your hand. Thank you.
All right, if I got the question correctly, is why I chose online products and how I set my pricing. Was that it?
Yes, but let's first deal with the place. Why did you choose online?
Well, I chose it because of scalability. So I find it easier to, if it's easier to scale. I can get into any geographical market that I want to target. And like I said earlier, once you test your product with your first cohort of customers, then with an online product, it's very easy to now use that first experiment in order to scale into other geographic areas.
And for you, Hellen, why do you choose to be on the ground?
Because that is where my customers are. For me to get a school, I have to visit a school, show them my product, discuss the price, and as well as the quality of my product. Because in uniforms, I'm not the first one, and it's not a unique business. As in, I'm not the first one who started. I found many people doing it. The thing that is making me stand out, it is my quality and my prices.
Good. You've actually said something important that I wanted actually to go into. So, Hellen, now that you chose physical locations and all that, why couldn't you try online? Kwa nini usiende online sasa? I mean, see, some schools shop online. That's a story.
They do actually. That's why I'm so happy to have met Vicent. I'm keenly listening to what he's saying. And I think maybe I'll go to the next level.
Hey, nimewasaidia kupata customer. Aya, okay. I think then, Vicent, that goes to you. Why not try? I mean, now you've done online for quite a bit. Why don't you try offline, like on the ground? Some of your product, or is it impossible? And or is the cost too high? It's not necessary. Why?
Now, again, I'm in the tech space. So the reason is I want, again, it's scalability. It's very easy to scale. You can reach any customer. And yeah, I don't know. That's the point. You can reach any customer. There are so many online platforms where it's so easy to market your product. Yeah, scalability is key for me. Makes it easier. You work with numbers. Yeah, and the kind of product that I have, for example, with UPESY, it's a mobile app. So you want it online for people to be able to download and install on their phones, you know, and use. Yeah. Hello?
I'm here, just a minute. Sorry about that. So moving on, actually still in line with the 4 Ps. Your pricing, how do you guys determine your pricing? How do you choose this is a price, and does it change? I know because on online it's a bit harder to change than Hellen. Hellen can change depending on customer. How do you guys deal with the price issue? How do you guys manage that, and how do you guys determine that?
All right, I think I can go first on pricing. So I think that's where it's important for me maybe to clarify that the specific kind of business that we do as a company. So as a company, UPESY as a company, we connect emergency service providers on one platform so that they're able to coordinate the emergency response services. So this includes guys like G4S, KK, Security, AAR, AMREF, Flying Doctors, St. John Ambulance. So the problem that we saw in the market was the need to coordinate these private emergency entities into a single platform so that a Kenyan or any other user can access emergency response services wherever they are. So what we provide is a platform. So the private emergency companies get access to the platform in order to access customers and to coordinate the emergency response services there. Now, as a tech company, our work involves building the product and setting it up there. For the pricing, we let the service provider set the price because they are the ones who carry out the response service. So for example, if AAR is providing an ambulance service, we let AAR determine the price based on what they've done for the last, for example, 40 years. So they already have these pricings that work for their customers, and they know the kind of service that they offer, and they attach a price or a value based on the quality of the service they provide. So determining the pricing is a combination of advice from us as a tech company and the service provider. So most of the time we come up with pricing that works for most customers who would go for such a product. And that makes it very easy for us to do our tech work and then to allow the service providers to set their own pricing on the service that they provide. I don't know if that was clear.
Yeah, it's clear on my side. Hellen, you can continue.
Hello?
Hello, I'm saying it. Yes, we can.
Yeah, what was the question, please?
Just talking about pricing. How exactly do you set yours?
Okay, my pricing. Okay, I decided to do wholesale. Wholesale pricing, which is working so well for the teachers, because once I give them a one price from, maybe, for example, let me take a primary school. From baby class to class 8, and give a school the same price for the item that I'm supplying. So the school is able to do their margins, and actually they're able even to account for their purchases, which is working so well for them.
Good. Great. I see it is exactly a few minutes past 6. We can go to the halftime poll. While there, guys, do you have any questions? I see somebody is asking, Helen, is your company's name on Instagram? Sorry, on any social platform, Instagram, Facebook?
Yes, I'm in Google.
Ebu tafadhali eka hapo kwa chat. Guys are asking for it. Vicent, hata wewe tafadhali tuweke kwa chat. Just your businesses, that would be good. Guys, looking for the questions as we take a short break and do the poll. It would be nice to hear from you guys. Remember, questions on Q&A, at the Q&A panel. And then kawaida, if anybody wants to lift their hand and ask a question, inueni tu mkono. Okay, so yeah, tafadhali Helen and Vicent, please put your company's contacts hapo kwa chat box. Thank you. Okay, guys, we are moving on to the poll, the halftime poll, coming up, right up. Please fill it up. Ndio tuendelee. Asanteni. All right, guys, the halftime poll is up. Helen and Vicent will continue with the session as we get into the other piece, promotion. I think we've already talked about place, price, and product, and we're continuing with other elements of your business so that we can get further insight on what you guys are doing. Great, so that's, wow, guys, munajazalea haraka, asanteni sana, nashukuru. Okay, let's continue. I can see you guys doing the halftime poll. Thank you. That's 18 out of 83 people. That's 21%. Vicent and Helen, tafadhali remember to put the social media channels for your companies within the chat or website if you have one. Asanteni. David, you can't see the poll. I do not know why, honestly. Unless maybe you restart your session. Maybe you can see that after, but usually I've not removed it yet, I hope. Oh, wow. Or maybe I ended. Let me see. Okay. Oh yeah, it was closed. I am the reason it was closed, I must admit. So let me do it again. Sorry guys, that must be my fault. I pressed something. Let me do that again. The halftime session poll. Doing that right now, relaunching. Okay, there. Thank you. Asanteni sana. I've put up the poll again. Sorry about that. That was my fault. Thank you guys. I see we're already at 36 out of 85. Tuendele. Please note, if you put the question in the chat, I can't read it. There are too many conversations in the chat. So please put it on the Q&A panel as I always consistently ask so that I can separate it from the other questions or other comments. That goes to Evelyn and the rest who are putting the questions on the chat. Tafadhali, please put it on the Q&A panel because it also helps with the recording when we send them to you. you can always access them from there. Thank you. Great. I see 46 out of 65. Tuendeleanga. Thank you so much, guys. And for those who don't know, today's session is successfully launching a product into the market. So I ask again, if you have a question, or rather I comment again, if you have a question, comment, etc., please put it in the Q&A. Thank you guys for following that. Yeah, asanteni sana. You guys are flowing good. I appreciate. Okay. All about to close so that we can continue. The most important session of all of this is dealing with the panelists. So feel free to have questions for them. If anybody wants to speak, you just raise your hand. I'll appreciate. I'll make sure to pick on you. Okay, I'm about to close this session. I see that's 50 out of 84, 51 out of 84, that's 60% participating. Thank you so much. I like that, I like that, I like that. Let's do at least 3/4 so that we can close. Great. So we are back. Without further ado, let me end the poll and show the results. Ending in 3, 2, 1. Good. Let me share the results with you guys. Asanteni for the reactions. I really like the reactions. It allows me to know if you guys are with me or not. So this is how the poll was. How do you rate the fireside chat so far? Majority 62% say it's good at 5%. Sorry, at 5 points out of 5. How would you rate the current panelists and their conversation? The highest being 55% still, which is 5 points. I appreciate, guys. How would you rate the current facilitator? That is myself, Wahiga Kemuturi. Actually wondered, I don't know if I introduced myself today, but asanteni, still at 80%, asanteni sana. So let me continue. I see your question has been answered, Evelyn, but let me just ask so that also the rest can hear it. I think it will be nice to also have the other people hear what was happening. And then please remember to still put your questions on the Q&A panel so that I can read it out, or if you want to speak, you can just raise your hand. Question for Hellen. It's a coincidence that I was talking about this business yesterday. So if I'm just starting, how do I go about it? Where do I get clients, pricing, especially if I don't have the machines and will rely, I believe you meant rely, on others to get the products ready. Where do I buy the products or materials in wholesale? Yeah, Hellen.
Okay, I've sent the person my contacts, but anyway, I can also answer directly.
Yes, please, especially for the ones who are interested and haven't spoken.
Sorry?
Yeah, you can answer directly, especially for the ones who haven't seen it and not spoken.
Okay. The materials are sold in town. They can get the materials in town, and then the target customers are the schools and corporates.
Okay, great. Where in town, if I may ask?
Riverfront, there are a lot of materials there, the machines also.
Ah, okay. Why target clients, schools as the clients?
Because I deal with the uniform. My
Okay.
core business is uniform.
Core business is uniform. Why did you choose core business as uniform instead of other things? How did you decide to just be on uniform alone?
The clientele is continuous.
Interesting. Okay. I see another question. Vicent, are you there? It's a question to you.
Hello, Wahiga, I can hear you. Sorry, I
great.
hope there's no background noise. Where I am, it just started raining, and so there could be some noise in the background. And
it's really good, really good.
Sure.
No panic.
Okay.
So what do you mean by geospatial engineering? That's a question to you. Is it survey services only? Kindly, Mr. Vicent, enlighten on it. Thank you in advance.
Yeah, so it includes also survey. Survey is just a component. So so geographic information systems are systems that incorporate geographic data. Geographic data is any data that has a longitude and a latitude. So could be any data, could be on population, could be on boundaries, administrative boundaries. So any data that has a component with longitude, latitude, and height. So nowadays we use geographic information systems to make quite a number of decisions. So I'll give you an example. For example, for a bank to decide where an ATM machine goes, there's a lot of geographic data they have to take into account. They have to take the demographics of where people live, who they are, what they do, in order to find viability on whether to put an ATM at certain locations. So it's location based. So that's how I define it. So anything with location components that helps you to make a decision. I hope I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, I hope so too. But also I would like to know why did you, is it such a great move from what you do to actually from your background, which is GIS, is it a great move moving from that to what you do currently while you're doing your business online?
All right, so I think I really need to specify, to be specific in terms of what we do currently. So what we do at UPESY is we've built a platform that enables emergency response services to coordinate. Now, as much as I do GIS, I play a role in terms of the GIS components are part of the system in terms of making sure emergency services can locate their victims, for example, how they can track the location, all that is GIS. So I play a role there. But I also have to add that I'm a software engineer, so I still build apps, only that this time they must have a geographic component. So to be specific, in order so that I'm very clear on to the team on what we do, we specifically focus on building UPESY as a platform for enabling emergency response companies to coordinate their emergency response services amongst themselves and to also have access to customers on the platform. So within that platform, then there are different components that different engineers work on. I mainly focus on the GIS component and partly the software development. I'm hoping Wahiga that answered.
Yeah. For me, yeah, that's good. That's good. I see a question from Paul Gitonga. Actually, still on your GIS. Is the GIS software proprietary, or is it an API that can be customized for different usage?
So, well, we've in any platform, you have to work with proprietary software, and there's some components that you have to work with APIs. For example, I'll give an example. When you want to work with maps, definitely you want to connect via the Google Maps API. Now, there are different APIs that enable you to achieve certain functionality. I'd put it that 80% of the product is proprietary. About 20% is we connect to third-party APIs.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you so much for that. Paul, I hope you've been answered everything. Let me see if I missed anything on the questions. Nothing of the more. Okay. I think for both of you, somebody's asking what is your name on the social media platform, kindly, on any of the social media platform. You can write it on the chat, tafadhali. And then, oh, so Paul is still asking about the GIS, I believe. Can it be incorporated for a marketplace platform? Yeah, I think they have an e-commerce platform, and they're asking if it can be incorporated for the same. Vincent? Okay. Vincent, can you hear me? Okay. I guess not. Let me move on to Hellen. Hellen, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, brilliant. So how exactly, because I want to ask a different version, how do you promote your business? Because that's also important for most businesses to know. How do you get it into the marketplace? How do you allow customers to know what it is, how it is? And yeah, how do you promote your business?
Mine is physical, appearance to the customer and show the customers the product directly.
Okay, do you have any other means to do the same? Because,
Okay,
and I guess that's why also some people are asking, how exactly do you, are you online? Oh yes, that's actually the question.
I'm online, I'm on Google. I'm on Google, I'm on Facebook, but I'm not very active. I want to work on those from next year, because the physical visitations to the customers has been okay to me, and it has been working. So not that bit of online, but you know, now in business, for you to think every time, you have to invent something new.
Okay, asante.
Yeah, there's someone who sent seamless. I don't understand what that person meant.
They sent what?
Seamless, something of that sort. I didn't understand that. That's why I didn't answer.
Oh, hakuna shida, hata mimi sikuelewa. But in case it comes up again, I'll definitely submit it. So guys, again, if you have a question I've not responded to, or the panelists have not responded to, please let me know. Vincent, you had the previous question about how to use your product for the e-commerce site.
Sorry, Wahiga, if you could come again.
I'm asking, did you hear the question in regard to how can they use your product for their e-commerce site? That was from Paul Gitonga.
Okay. Sorry, I think I had to log in again, so I think I missed it at some point.
No worries.
Now, I think at this point we need to differentiate e-commerce and what we do as UPESY. Now, e-commerce is a marketplace where you can sell products, could be phones, can be laptops, so e-commerce, I think I put it roughly as an Amazon kind of website where you go to buy products. So that's what I would call an e-commerce platform. Now, for UPESY specifically, again, our product is an online platform specifically for businesses, and these businesses are emergency response companies. So, for example, G4S, KK, St. John Ambulance, AAR, for ambulance and security, etc. So the online platform that we provide is only for these emergency response companies. Now, what they do within that platform is that it enables them to have a one-stop shop to coordinate the emergency response services. So if, for example, I'm a customer to AAR that offers ambulance services in Nairobi, and tomorrow I find myself in Kisumu and I need a security response. So within the platform, I can be connected to KK Security for example, for the security response. So it's a platform that we provide these companies in order to coordinate their responses such that wherever you are in the country, you're able to get emergency response services. So it's a bit different from an e-commerce platform. An e-commerce platform is open to any consumer who can go to the website and buy the product. But what we do as an entity is very specific to businesses, and in this case, emergency response companies. So to answer the question is, whereas we can develop e-commerce platforms, we are specific on business to business case with emergency response services. I'm hoping that answered the question.
I am hoping so too. I am hoping so. Great. So guys, I've put Vicent and Hellen in our group. If you need to reach out to them, if you need to ask further questions, you can do it from there. At the moment, I see no open questions, but I'm looking forward to see if any comes up. I think for you, Vicent, maybe what I should ask, because I already asked with Hellen, how do you promote your product? How do you do your promotion?
Okay, that's a good question. The way we promote our product is now when we started, we were doing it on social media. So we would do paid advertisements on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube for the videos. That didn't work for us. It was not giving us a return on the money that we were putting there. When we pivoted the business to focus on only companies that provide emergency response services, then we pivoted our promotions on LinkedIn, because we were focusing on businesses. So the way we do our promotions currently is advertisement via LinkedIn, targeting emergency response companies. Number two is through client visits, where we visit these companies and make presentations. Number three is via conducting seminars, where we invite these businesses to showcase the product. And lastly, promotion, we also like word of mouth promotion, especially coming from recommendations from the businesses that we work with. So those 4 key areas are key to us for doing our promotions.
Great. Thank you
Back
very
to you,
much for that.
Wahiga.
Yes, yes. Thank you for that, Vincent. I see a few questions again. Is UPESY a medical emergency response product or a business to customer response service? Because he was marketing it on social platforms instead of personal reach outs to the target companies. I think that's a question to you, Vincent.
Yeah, that's a good question. So at this point, I have to clarify that we've pivoted UPESY twice. The first time we started, we were focusing on a business to customer angle, where the messaging was that anyone can go on the platform and access emergency response services offered by the companies that we work with. So over the last 3 to 4 years, we signed up partnership agreements with the emergency service companies. So these are the G4S, Securex, 911 Group, AAR, St. John Ambulance. So we got into partnerships with them. And we told them, look, we are going to provide the platform, provide the service. And then we told them we are going to go for the customers. So we were going to use our money in order to market on social media and tell people that they can download UPESY as an app and then subscribe at a monthly subscription fee to access emergency response services offered by the partners we were working with. Now, at that point, we were marketing on social media platforms. So we would do paid advertisements on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and YouTube, targeting individual customers to go on Play Store, download the app, and pay to be able to access these emergency services offered by the partners we're working with. Now, the return on investment was very low. The number of customers that we were getting at that point was quite low. So we realized the product was targeting the middle class in Kenya, and a lot of middle class people were not going as much as to pay for the product. Now, when we pivoted, we realized that the partners that we work with have very many customers. So these partners had thousands of customers that they were already working with. The problem was that they were not able to coordinate amongst themselves in order to give their customers a premium product. So say, for example, I'm a customer of KK Security today, and I'm covered for security response in Nairobi. And tomorrow I travel to Kajiado, and KK has no coverage in Kajiado. And I have an emergency in Kajiado. Then KK has very limited options in providing me that service. But Kajiado has G4S presence, meaning G4S would be able to cover the customer on behalf of KK. So we pivoted to the product and said our interest would be to, sorry, I hope I'm still clear. I'm still having some power issues, but I think I'm audible enough.
Yes, you're very audible.
The pivot was that we are going to enroll all these customers. We are going only to deal with the emergency response services. So the emergency response services are going to pay us a license to be on the platform so that KK Security can cover their customer wherever they are in Kenya. Same to G4S, same to AAR, and same to all the other partners that we're working with. So in that case, the platform, we pivoted to only focus on those companies. So they pay a monthly license to UPESY in order to be on the platform. And the value proposition that we give them is that your customers will be covered wherever they are based on the coverage. Now, the other details about how the reconciliation about payment happens when a provider acts on behalf of another provider is fully automated on the platform. So it's fully automated for the businesses. They coordinate their response there. It's more organized. They can promise their new and existing customers of countrywide coverage. So that was a pivot. So when we pivoted, we are not focusing now on customers. We are focusing on B2B, business to business at a license. So that's why we stopped the marketing on social media, the Facebooks and etc. And we only went to focus on LinkedIn, targeting these specific emergency response companies that we want to enroll on the platform. So again, just to summarize, is targeted campaigns to the companies on LinkedIn. Number 2 is client visits to the target companies that we want to work with. Number 3 is conducting seminars or webinars where we invite them in order to get them to know the product and enroll on it. And number 4 is through recommendations from the already existing partners that we have. So they recommend the product to other companies who would be interested in enrolling on the platform at a license. So I'm hoping that clears it in terms of the target promotions. Wahiga, back to you.
Great, thank you. To Hellen. Oh, Hellen is out. Oh, Hellen, are you here? I see a question for you. Hello, Hellen. Good. Okay, don't worry, we're about to close. You're on mute. We can't hear you. Just speak. It's okay. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can. A question to both of you, and I'll start with you. Do you have a team, and how did you build your team? Very good question, actually.
Okay. Can I answer that?
Yes, we are starting with you.
Okay. I have a team. Actually, I have 4 tailors, and I am the only marketer. And my tailors, actually, during Corona, I stayed with just 1 tailor, but after Corona, I handled 3, and we are doing well. That's my team.
Okay, brilliant. And how do you work with tailors? Because unajua tailors,
Yes, it's piecework.
They never refuse work, but they never deliver on time.
They do, actually mine do, because I am the manager on the ground. I'm always, most of the time I'm at the workshop, and when piecework. So the stock for next year. So like now I'm the field, I'm at Loitoktok doing the marketing work. Ours is just easy and straight because they are paying.
Sorry, we can't hear you now.
I'm saying my business is just a straightforward business. It's not as technical as Vicent's.
No. Okay.
So mine is just the piecework. I give a tailor maybe, let's say 100 pieces. Once you are done with 100 pieces, I give you your money. And then I check I have people, the casuals who check the work, whether it's done well, and then we pack.
Brilliant. What about for you, Vicent?
So if I got the question, the question was on the team.
Yes.
So
first, do you have a team, and how did you build it?
Yeah, so we are a team of about 9. So 4 engineers. We have an administrator. We have a business development and sales, and there's a specific individual on marketing. Now, the way we built it, of course, it's a tech product. So you have to hire very good engineers to build the product and to enable it to work. So we conducted interviews, and then you want to hire, at least experienced engineers who can build the kind of product that you envision. Again, for a tech company, it's a bit expensive at first, so you have to attract some form of investment. So we did a seed round of funding where we raised some investment in order to be able to hire the right engineers. And then for the business development, we started hiring for business development, sales and marketing, especially when we pivoted our business to focus on B2B kind of business. Yeah, so that's how we managed to build it. We built it over some time. Yeah. I don't know, unless anyone would want more info on that, but we are a team of 9, 4 engineers, again, sales and marketing, product development, and administration. We keep it lean also because of you want to have a bit of a runway before you run out of money, and there's a lot of testing along the way. Like I said, we've pivoted twice. The first time it didn't work. The second time we've pivoted, and at least it's generating revenue. So you want keep the team lean, keep your runway long until you're able to break even and be able to hire more based on how the product and the is growing in the market.
Great. Vicent, on your last question, can you do other services apart from emergency? Yeah, I think that's the question.
Yes. So when I started earlier, I started by saying I'm CTO at 2 companies, UPESY and a company called Gravity. So UPESY, like I said, we purely focus on emergency response services. Now, Gravity is for consultancy. So we also do consultancy projects that are ICT based. We've done projects for government, for private companies, and for non-governmental organizations. So yes, we do consultancy on other ICT related products.
Good. I think a last one is just a quick one for Vicent. How much does a good developer cost for a tech product such as yours? So guys, please be preparing, panelists, please be preparing also to finish with your last word. Thank you.
All right, that's a good question. So, like I said earlier, for a tech company, when it's quite expensive to jumpstart everything because engineers are expensive. So a good engineer roughly you'd want to pay them 200,000 shillings a month or 250. Otherwise, you lose them to other companies that are attracting good engineers. Again, you want to keep the team low and thin. But you want also the best people because the best engineers will give you the best product. I said earlier, tech products are quite expensive. There are a lot of other options that people have, and you want your product to really stand out. So our major investments when we were starting, and even I think now, is in being able to pay the engineers and maintain them to keep the product and build the product. But to answer the question, yes, engineers are a bit expensive. But at the end of the day, with good investment, keeping the team thin, low and thin, then you're able to have a longer runway until the business can start breaking even.
Okay, last words from Hellen and yourself. Any one of you can go first. Your ending words, please.
All right, I think I'll go first. So I think what I've learned as an entrepreneur is
Hello, Vincent, we've lost you.
in my space.
Sorry, Vincent, we lost you when you
Is
started.
key is discipline.
Hello, Vincent. Okay, I guess Vincent is gone. Vincent, are you back? Oh, we couldn't hear you the first time.
Sorry, you can hear me now?
Yes, now you're good.
All right. So like I said earlier, and I think the most important lesson for me in my space is the process of building the product. Like I said earlier, you first want to test the product even before building it, so that you can conduct your experiments in finding out whether people are willing to pay for your product or not. Along the way, as you build the product, you will at times need to change maybe your business model and keep on tweaking the product until you find the best fit that works for your market. What I've learned along the way, there has to be a lot of discipline, especially with a startup. You have to be very razor sharp focus in what you're trying to do and what you're trying to achieve. As an entrepreneur, you also drive the vision of your company, meaning those who work under you are looking up to you for direction. And you, even when things are getting thick, then you have to maintain the faith that you know where the business is going and where it needs to get. Finally, I'd say it's worth the fight and the struggle. And fortunately enough, we've got to a point where we're starting to realize a lot of the fruits that we planted in our earlier years. I'd encourage every one of us to, in whatever venture you're pursuing, keep the discipline, work hard, and keep the vision. I've put my contacts there. On email, you can reach me on vincent.awino@upesy.co.ke. You can check out the website on UPESY. And I think we can have a conversation on what UPESY does and all other ICT products that we build with the other entity I spoke about. Thank you very much. Thank you, Wahiga and the team, for inviting me. I'm privileged to have participated in this, and I hope we get to do this again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Hellen.
Vincent has said it all. In business, it's not easy, as seen, but with the perseverance and discipline, everything is doable. Like when I started, it was difficult, particularly on finances, because of routine. But at the end of the day, you enjoy the fruits and work. Sorry?
We lost you there. We lost you there.
Huh?
We lost you a bit. Please repeat that.
I'm saying in business, it needs discipline, and it is not just a one-day activity. You can't just wake up one day and make money. You need to struggle and lead your team well. Like me, I am the CEO, I am everything in my business working. I can't expect my tellers to deliver. And then what I would urge everyone is, it is never say die. Because once you reap, like now we are reaping out of hard work that I've done since 2017. for now, okay, once you do good marketing, you get even a lot of referrals. Like most of the things I'm doing currently, I'm not doing new customers. Most of the new customers I'm getting now, it's referrals. And it's working well. So I know once you're doing good work, you'll reap from it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for being part of this session. It's been a great evening of learning and conversation. Vicent and Hellen, you guys have tips for days. Thank you so much. We appreciate the work that you've done for us and just taking us through all this. Without further ado, we've come to the end of our session this evening, and I say thank you to all of you who have been keeping me company. Kindly show me with some reactions how you guys felt about the session. In the meantime, thank you guys. Thank you guys. I see your comments, super presentation, both Hellen and Vicent. Thank you. Thank you. Vicent, well done. Hellen, well done. Very educative interaction. Thanks, Vicent and Hellen. And thank you guys for being part of this. So without further ado, I'll just like to do the poll, the usual end time poll, and then we end the session. So I'm launching that right now. Thank you very much. Thank you guys. I see your comments. I see your reactions. Really appreciate. Thank you so much. Let's fill up the poll. Vicent and Hellen, I can let you leave. Thank you so much for joining us and being part of this session.
Okay, thank you too for inviting me.
And guys are very appreciative.
Thanks a lot.
Good stuff, guys. Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. I see 50 out of 58. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I'm about to bring the poll to a close. And I like the ratings. Thank you so much. We are still managing to do the best. Thank you. Thank you so much, Temitayo. I really appreciate. Thank you, Brian. I really appreciate that you guys stay with me during these sessions. Thank you. Owuche, thank you too. Great. And the poll is over. Let me switch it off and switch off our session. I really appreciate. God bless you all. Have a good night. It's been real love, a lot of love, a lot of compassion, a lot of empathy and all that. Thank you guys. Thank you for being a part of this session. Have a good evening, good night. God bless you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.